Chosen one, command your racing mind to halt and direct your spiritual awareness solely to my voice. Release the mental grip you have on your timeline right now. Heaven just intercepted your reality to deliver a highly classified update about your season. You did not stumble upon this message. The Spirit drew you here because your faith is running on fumes. You have been driving home in complete silence, feeling a heavy, hollow ache in your chest, exhausted by a battle you feel you are losing. A voice in your head keeps whispering the darkest fear. Did God forget me? Why does doing the right thing yield zero physical results while everyone else is winning? Silence that illusion immediately. This is a prophetic briefing. The spiritual courts have convened, your endurance has been weighed, and the gavel has struck in your favor. Your season of hidden suffering is legally over. Your specific reward has officially been approved above. Subscribe to align with thousands of awakened souls receiving their harvest. And if your spirit confirms this decree, comment approved to activate your reception. Because what I am about to reveal will explain exactly why your physical hands are still empty and the specific frequency shift required to pull your reward from spiritual escrow into your reality today. I need you to stay with me until the very last second of this message. Do not let your mind wander and do not click away. By the end of this revelation, you are going to discover the exact spiritual coordinates where your reward is being held. I will expose the hidden glitch in your daily routine that is blocking your blessing from manifesting physically. And I will give you the precise protocol to clear that blockage. More importantly, I will reveal the specific illusions the enemy is projecting into your mind right now to make you forfeit your harvest right at the finish line. If you leave early, you will have the promise, but you will lack the blueprint to receive it. So lock in. Let us go to where you are right now. I see you sitting in your parked car. The engine is off. The driveway is quiet. But you just sit there, staring at the steering wheel, dreading the moment you have to step out, walk through that door, and put on a brave face for the world. Or maybe it is 3 in the morning. You are staring at the ceiling, feeling an intense, suffocating pressure right at the center of your chest. It is not a medical condition, it is spiritual fatigue. It is the crushing weight of carrying a massive calling in a physical reality that refuses to cooperate. Your mind feels thick, like you are walking through deep mud. You cannot focus. You feel a deep, terrifying brain fog that makes you question your own sanity and your own memory. You try to pray, but your words feel like they are bouncing off a solid brass ceiling. You try to connect with the Creator, but all you feel is a deafening, agonizing silence. This mental exhaustion, this brain fog that clouds your days, it is not normal fatigue. It is a symptom of a severe frequency mismatch. You are carrying a high-level spiritual mandate, but your physical vessel is being bombarded by a low-level, chaotic reality. You feel disconnected from the universe not because you sinned, and not because you failed the test. You feel disconnected because your energetic bandwidth is completely maxed out just by surviving. You are in survival mode, and survival mode blocks reception. Let me explain this silence you are feeling. The enemy wants you to interpret God's silence as God's absence. But let us look at the biblical pattern. In the book of John, chapter 11, Jesus receives an urgent message that his close friend Lazarus is sick and dying. The logical response, the loving response, would be to rush to his side immediately. But what does the text say? It says that when Jesus heard Lazarus was sick, he stayed where he was for 2 more days. He intentionally delayed. He gave them silence. By the time Jesus arrived, Lazarus was dead and buried for 4 days. Mary and Martha were crushed. They told Jesus, "Lord, if you had been here, my brother would not have died." They interpreted the delay as a failure. They interpreted the silence as abandonment, but they did not understand the context of the silence. Jesus did not stay away to punish them. He stayed away because healing a sick man is a good miracle, but resurrecting a dead man after 4 days is a glory that changes history forever. The delay was required to upgrade the magnitude of the miracle. The silence was the mandatory setup for a resurrection that could not be denied by any logic or science. That is the context of the silence you are sitting in right now. The enemy is projecting an illusion into your mind. He wants you to look at your dead situation, your stagnant finances, your lonely life, and believe that the silence means you are cursed. He wants you to believe that the heavy brain fog you feel is proof that you have lost your touch, that you have lost your connection to the divine. But that is a lie. That exhaustion is not a punishment, it is a sign of completion. You think the universe is silent? No. I am going to show you exactly what is being recorded in your spiritual file right now. I am opening the file on your waiting season right now. Let us talk about the thoughts you keep locked away. The dark, unfiltered thoughts that you are too ashamed to say out loud in a prayer. You scroll through your phone, you look at your workplace, you look at your community, and you see the people who lack integrity. You see the narcissists, the manipulators, the people who bend the rules and step on others to get ahead. You see them prospering. You see them buying the new houses, taking the expensive vacations, getting the fast promotions, and flaunting their easy wealth. And there you are. You have been doing the deep inner work. You have been praying until your knees hurt. You have been treating people with kindness, even when they betray you. You have been serving the Creator in secret. And yet, your life looks like a battlefield of continuous losses. You have lost friends. You have lost money. You have lost golden opportunities. And in the darkest, quietest hours of the night, your mind screams in frustration. You ask, why do the cheaters win while I serve and lose everything? Is this some kind of joke? Am I a fool for keeping my integrity? Why does the universe seem to reward the wicked and punish the righteous? That voice of comparison is the exact illusion the enemy is projecting into your mind. He wants you to look at the quick, flashy success of the corrupt and compare it to your painful, lonely waiting. He wants you to equate speed with blessing. He wants you to become so bitter and so exhausted that you break your own integrity just to get a tiny taste of their temporary success. But you need to understand the absolute spiritual mathematics of your situation. Let us look at the ancient records. Look at the undeniable pattern of every major chosen one in history. Look at David. He was anointed by a prophet to be the greatest king, but immediately after that anointing, he spent over a decade living in dark, damp caves. He was running for his life, sleeping in the dirt, eating scraps. Meanwhile, Saul, a deeply corrupt, disobedient, and paranoid king, sat comfortably on a golden throne and ate from royal banquet tables every single night. Saul had the palace, but David had the promise. Look at Joseph. He was given a massive, prophetic vision of global leadership. But what was his reward? He spent 13 agonizing years betrayed in a pit, sold as a slave in a foreign land, and forgotten in a dark dungeon. Meanwhile, the cupbearer, the man who promised to remember Joseph, went right back to his comfortable, high-paying job, serving wine to Pharaoh. The cupbearer got his reward quickly. Joseph had to wait. Why? Here is the divine pattern you must memorize right now. The length of your wilderness is mathematically proportional to the magnitude of your calling. A mushroom grows overnight, and it rots in a single day. An oak tree takes decades to grow roots deep enough to withstand centuries of violent storms. The people you are constantly comparing yourself to, the ones getting the quick money and the fast fame, their assignment is tiny. They are mushrooms. They get their reward instantly because it holds absolutely no eternal weight. It is short-term trash. It will fade as quickly as it arrived. But you are an oak tree. You are not being punished. You are being processed. God does not put a human being through a decade of wilderness training for a low-level assignment. The extreme severity of your delay is the absolute proof of the massive magnitude of your coming promotion. Your reward is not a temporary high. Your reward is a generational legacy. It is an inheritance meant to change the trajectory of your entire bloodline forever, and the Creator knows that you absolutely cannot hold a generational legacy in a shallow, untested vessel. That is why the fire was so hot. That is why the isolation was so deep and so painful. The universe was expanding your capacity to hold the massive weight of what is coming. And you did it. Look at yourself. You endured the brutal stretching. You watched others pass you by. You watched them mock you, and you still refused to compromise your soul. You felt completely abandoned by heaven, and you still chose to wake up and trust. You wanted to quit 1,000 different times, but you took another step in the dark anyway. Therefore, the highest court has reached its final verdict. The testing phase of your endurance is officially terminated. I am declaring this over your life right now. You have passed the test of faithfulness. You have passed the test of keeping your integrity in the dark. The spiritual embargo on your life has been completely lifted. You are officially approved. I want you to do something right now. Do not move your body. Just use the power of your mind. In the theater of your imagination, I want you to visualize a massive rusted iron gate that has been blocking your path for years. See it clearly. Now, hear the loud, heavy sound of a key turning in that lock. Hear the sharp click. See that heavy iron gate swing wide open, revealing a path flooded with brilliant, warm light. Feel the immense, crushing weight physically lift off your shoulders as that gate opens. If your spirit feels that massive release, declare your victory in the comments right now by typing "I am approved." Type it as a digital receipt of your spiritual clearance. So you are approved. You passed the test. You can finally breathe a deep sigh of relief, right? The battle is over. You can just sit back, relax, and watch the blessings rain down on your life. But wait. If you are officially approved in the spiritual realm, why is your physical reality still a complete mess? If the documents of your breakthrough have been permanently signed, why has your bank account not increased by a single dollar? Why is that specific door you have been praying for still locked shut? Why are you still sitting in the exact same stressful, overwhelming situation today? Because there is one final signature that has not been stamped. And it is not God's signature. It is your signature, your energetic signature. I need you to brace your spirit right now, because what I am about to reveal will completely shatter the way you have been viewing your entire waiting season. You have been taught by modern religion that when God approves a blessing, it just falls out of the sky and magically lands in your lap. You have been sitting there, waiting for a divine magic drop. But the spiritual realm does not operate on wishes. It operates on supreme laws of physics and energy. When your massive reward was approved, it was not directly handed to your physical self. It was placed into a spiritual escrow. If you look at the financial world, an escrow is a highly secure, invisible holding vault. When a massive, life-changing transaction is taking place, the funds are locked in this third-party vault. The money is absolutely real. The approval is completely final. The funds legally belong to the buyer, but they cannot be touched, they cannot be spent, and they cannot be accessed until a very specific set of closing conditions are met by both parties. This is exactly what has happened to your calling, your finances, and your divine connections. The Supreme Court of Heaven stamped your file. The resources were instantly allocated. Your reward was dispatched from the throne room. But it hit an invisible barrier right above your physical reality, and it was placed into a heavenly escrow. This is why you feel so incredibly frustrated right now. This is why you feel like the universe is playing a cruel joke on you. You keep seeing signs and synchronicities everywhere you look. You keep seeing repeating numbers like 1111. You keep having incredibly vivid prophetic dreams of success and abundance. Your spirit can literally sense the reward hovering right over your head. You can feel the intense heat of it. You absolutely know it is yours. But every single time you reach out your physical hand to grab it, you grasp empty air. Heaven has done its absolute part. The transaction is fully funded. The decree has been made. But the vault remains locked because the final closing condition on your end has not been met. So what is the condition? What is the invisible wall that is blocking the massive flow of abundance from the spiritual escrow down into your physical reality? What is stopping the vault from opening? It is a violent frequency disconnect. You see, the command of release from heaven is operating at a massive, pure, high-dimensional frequency. It is a frequency of absolute peace, infinite abundance, extreme clarity, and total sovereign power. But look at your physical vessel right now. Look at your daily state of mind. You are vibrating at a frantic, panic-stricken, exhausted frequency. You are constantly worrying about how the next bill will be paid. You are stressing over the timeline of your life. You are mentally replaying arguments and conversations with toxic people. You are living in a constant draining state of fight or flight. Your adrenal glands are constantly firing. Your physical brain is emitting a heavy frequency of desperation, and desperation is the exact opposite frequency of divine abundance. The escrow vault cannot open because the frequencies fundamentally do not match. A high-frequency reward literally cannot penetrate a low-frequency force field. It bounces right off. Let us look at the ancient scriptures to understand the exact science of this. We hear the word faith all the time in church. Religious systems tell you that faith just means believing really hard. They tell you that if you just cry harder, if you beg louder, and if you suffer longer, God will see your faith and finally bless you. But that is a surface-level, manipulated translation designed to keep you powerless. Let us look at the original Hebrew text. The ancient Hebrew word for faith is emunah. Emunah does not just mean intellectual belief. It does not mean closing your eyes and wishing for something to happen. Emunah implies firmness, steadiness, and being in a state of absolute alignment. Think of your physical brain like a highly advanced ancient radio receiver. If the heavenly broadcast is transmitting the instructions for your reward on frequency 101, but your internal dial is stuck vibrating on frequency 98, you can believe that the music is playing with all of your heart. You can cry, you can fast for 40 days, and you can beg the radio to play the song. But you will only hear violent, chaotic, static. The music is playing, the reward is right there in the escrow, but you are not a vibrational match to the broadcast. Emunah, true biblical faith, is the deliberate, strategic act of tuning your internal dial to match the exact frequency of the heavenly broadcast. It is frequency synchronization. When the Bible says that without faith it is impossible to please God, it is not saying God is sitting on a cloud demanding you to blindly trust Him. It is stating an absolute law of spiritual physics. Without frequency synchronization, it is physically impossible to receive the download. The receiver must match the transmitter. This is the root cause of your empty hands. You are desperately trying to receive a high-frequency blessing while your brain is completely locked into the low frequency of stress and survival. Your anxiety, your endless overthinking, and your constant mental exhaustion are literally acting as an energetic static shield, repelling the escrow release. Heaven is trying to drop the blessing, but your panic is bouncing it right back up into the vault. I want you to perform a mental scan right now. Do not move your physical body. Just close your eyes in the theater of your imagination and look inward. Feel the subtle, chaotic hum of anxiety vibrating right in the center of your chest. Notice the racing thoughts constantly calculating the worst-case scenarios in the background of your mind. Notice the invisible tightness in your throat and the tension pulling at your shoulders. That is the low frequency. That is the static shield blocking your escrow from opening. If you can feel that internal chaos right now, I want you to mentally command that static to freeze. Just for 1 single second, command the chaos in your mind to stand completely still. But this realization raises a terrifying question. You are a chosen one. You are highly spiritual. You pray, you meditate, you try your absolute hardest to stay positive and keep your vibration high. So why is your brain constantly defaulting to this low, heavy, static-filled frequency? Why can you not just snap out of it? Why does your mind constantly slip back into the mud of anxiety, no matter how many positive sermons you listen to or how many affirmations you repeat? Listen to me very carefully, because this is where everything changes. You are stuck in a survival wave, and this is not your fault. You did not break your own brain. The Matrix designed this society, the endless negative news cycles, the chemical-filled food, the constant digital notifications, the crushing financial pressure, to intentionally force your brain to shut down its higher functions. They specifically designed the system to keep you locked in a state of low-level panic, operating strictly on beta brainwaves, so your divine receptors would permanently close. They do not want you accessing your escrow. They want you exhausted, distracted, and disconnected from your sovereign power. But there is a secret. There is a hidden key that the ancient prophets used to bypass this exact interference. And modern NASA scientists have recently discovered the exact same method to break through this layer of mental static. I am talking about the terrifying fear of the blessing itself. You have spent years, maybe decades, crying out for this massive financial breakthrough, this monumental shift in your status, this divine partnership. You have prayed relentlessly for the harvest. But in the quietest, most brutally honest moments of your life, when you actually visualize having it, something strange and terrifying happens in your physical body. Your stomach suddenly drops. A cold, uncomfortable knot forms right beneath your ribs. You feel a sudden restrictive tightness in your chest that has absolutely nothing to do with your current struggles, but everything to do with your future reality. Why? Because a raw, unfiltered thought echoes in the darkest corners of your mind. What if I get the massive reward and it completely destroys me? What if the sudden influx of wealth changes my heart and makes me arrogant? What if the massive platform and the sudden visibility expose my hidden secret flaws to the entire world? What if God hands me this generational empire and I am simply not strong enough to carry the heavy weight of it? What if I end up dropping and ruining the very thing I begged heaven to give me? You even fear that when the blessing arrives, the few friends and family members you still have left will become deeply jealous and abandon you entirely. You see, as you use the daily 7-minute sound technology to sweep away the chaotic, everyday survival static of the Matrix, your mind becomes incredibly, profoundly quiet. And in that new, pure, high-frequency silence, the deepest shadows of your soul have nowhere left to hide. The genius wave effectively removes the surface-level anxiety about paying bills and surviving, which forcibly allows these older, foundational fears about your own identity to finally surface. They do not rise to torment you. They rise because they absolutely must be healed and integrated before the escrow vault fully opens. The enemy has been weaponizing this specific, hidden fear to make you subconsciously sabotage your own success for years. Every single time you get incredibly close to a major breakthrough, that cold knot in your stomach tightens, and you pull back. You retreat into your comfort zone. You convince yourself that maybe you are just meant to be humble and poor. You tell yourself that staying small is somehow more holy, and that wanting massive influence is inherently sinful. I need to completely shatter that religious lie right now. That fear you feel in your gut is not a lack of faith. It is not imposter syndrome. It is the absolute, undeniable proof of your divine calling. Think about the people who are not chosen. Think about the narcissists, the manipulators, and the corrupted leaders of this world system. They never ever worry about whether they are good enough, pure enough, or strong enough to handle power. They simply crave the power so they can abuse it for their own ego. They want the blessing without a single ounce of the responsibility. The fact that you are terrified of mishandling the blessing proves that your heart is entirely focused on stewardship, not selfishness. You actually care about what heaven entrusts to you. Let us dive deep into the ancient context of what you are actually feeling in your physical body. In the book of Exodus, Moses makes a massive, unprecedented request. He has been leading the Israelites through the brutal wilderness, and he finally asks the Creator to show him his absolute, unfiltered glory. Moses says, "Please, show me your glory." But God responds with a severe, sobering warning. He tells Moses that no human being can see his face and survive. So God places Moses in the deep cleft of a rock and covers him with his hand while the massive glory passes by. We often read that story in modern religion and think it is just about God being too bright or too visually holy to look at. But we completely miss the physical reality of the word glory. In the ancient Hebrew text, the word for glory is kabod, and kabod literally translates to heaviness or massive weight. God was not just saying he was too visually bright to look at. He was telling Moses that the sheer gravitational weight of his pure presence, his kabod, would physically crush a human vessel that was not properly shielded and prepared. This is exactly what you are experiencing right now when you think about your future. You are sensing the kabod. You are feeling the massive gravitational weight of the glory that is about to be placed upon your life. A generational blessing is incredibly heavy. True wealth is heavy. Massive spiritual influence is heavy. It crushes fragile, ego-driven people who do not have the structural integrity to hold it. That knot in your stomach is your spirit recognizing the immense gravity of the assignment. It is your soul acknowledging that what is coming out of the spiritual escrow is not a shiny toy to be played with. It is a weapon of mass light. It is a kingdom asset meant to liberate others. I want you to perform a simple mental shift right now. Focus your mind on that heavy, sinking feeling in your stomach, that fear of the future responsibility. I want you to mentally cross out the word anxiety. Erase it from your mind completely. Now, in glowing golden letters, I want you to stamp a new word over that physical sensation in your gut. The word is reverence. You are not afraid. You are simply holding a deep, holy reverence for the magnitude of what heaven has officially approved for you. This reverence is the final proof that your vessel is fully prepared. You have passed the brutal endurance test. You have tuned your frequency to the heavenly broadcast. You understand the heavy weight of the glory. Your fear actually proves you are qualified to receive it. But I must issue a very critical warning. Being qualified to receive the massive reward is not the same thing as being equipped to protect it. You are about to step into the most dangerous phase of the entire Chosen One journey. The escrow vault is unlocking. The massive blessing is about to hit your physical reality. But if you do not have a strict, impenetrable, defensive framework in place, the enemy will steal that blessing from you within the very first 30 days of its arrival. Your reverence proves you are worthy to hold it, but your strategy will determine if you get to keep it. If you do not apply the specific protocol I am about to give you, you will sabotage the reward the moment it lands in your hands. The moment the escrow vault opens and your massive reward drops into your physical reality, you will be hit with an overwhelming wave of adrenaline. This is the exact moment where 99% of people lose their blessing. They treat the divine provision like a lottery ticket. But you are not a consumer. You are a sovereign steward. And to survive the massive influx of resources, opportunities, or power that is coming your way, you must immediately implement the stewardship decision tree. When the breakthrough arrives, your mind will want to immediately upgrade your lifestyle. You will want to buy the things you have been denied. You will want to show the world that you finally made it. Stop. When the blessing lands, you must mentally walk it through two specific branches of decision. Branch 1. Ask yourself, is this provision meant for my personal consumption, or is it a test of my capacity to manage a kingdom asset? Branch 2. What would the highest, most completely healed, most mature version of myself do with this resource? The answer is never to consume it all. The answer is to build a fortress. When the escrow drops, do not upgrade your lifestyle first. Upgrade your defenses. Pay off the debt that keeps you chained to the matrix. Secure your borders, because the second you receive the reward, you become a massive target on the spiritual radar. This brings us to the most critical defensive framework you will ever learn. It is the absolute solution to protecting your harvest in those vulnerable first 30 days. I call it the 3-circle protocol. I want to place you in a very specific scenario. Imagine it is a Tuesday afternoon. You are sitting alone in a coffee shop, or maybe you are sitting on your couch, staring at your phone. The email just came through, the bank transfer just cleared, the relationship just manifested. The massive prayer you have been weeping over for 5 years has finally, physically happened. Your heart is pounding out of your chest. The very first instinct you will feel, an instinct entirely driven by your unhealed ego and your past trauma, is the burning urge to tell everybody. You want to immediately post it on social media. You want to take a screenshot and send it to the family members who called you crazy. You want to subtly brag to the people who abandoned you when you were in the wilderness, just to brutally prove to them that God was actually on your side the whole time. I need you to mentally bind that urge right now. I command you to completely starve that desire for validation. When the blessing hits, you must go into a state of absolute, militant lockdown. You must execute the 3-circle protocol. Circle 1 is the inner sanctum. This circle contains only you and the Creator, nobody else. Circle 2 is the council circle. This contains maybe 1 or 2 highly vetted, spiritually mature mentors who have absolutely nothing to gain from your success and who operate at the exact same high frequency that you do. Right now, you might not even have anyone in Circle 2, and that is perfectly fine. Circle 3 is the entire rest of the world. Your family, your co-workers, your social media followers, and your old friends. For the first 30 days after your escrow opens, your blessing is strictly confined to Circle 1. The world does not get to know. You do not post cryptic quotes. You do not drop hints. You disappear into the work. Why is this level of secrecy a matter of spiritual life and death? Let us look at the ancient wisdom. In the book of Exodus, as the Israelites are facing the Red Sea with the Egyptian army charging to slaughter them, Moses tells the panicked people, "The Lord will fight for you, and you have only to be silent." In English, silence just means not talking. It sounds passive. It sounds weak. But the ancient Hebrew word used here for silence is charash. Charash does not mean to quietly surrender. Charash literally means to engrave, to plow, to fabricate, and to secretly devise a weapon. It is the exact same word used for a master blacksmith quietly hammering a deadly sword in the dark. The ancient text is revealing a staggering law of spiritual warfare. Your strategic silence is not weakness. Your silence is the forge where your victory is permanently locked in. When you open your mouth prematurely, when you post your unfinished blessing to Circle 3 to get a quick hit of dopamine and validation, you are leaking the raw energy of your escrow out into the world. You are inviting the low-frequency projections, the jealousy, the envy, and the demonic witchcraft of broken people directly into your fragile new blessing. Tomorrow morning, when you wake up and put on your headphones to listen to your 7-minute activation frequency, I want you to make a solemn vow of absolute secrecy. As the genius wave washes over your brain, pulling you out of beta survival mode and deep into the theta God frequency, let it completely dissolve your need to be seen. Let the acoustic ritual clear away the desperate ego that wants to prove your haters wrong. You do not need their validation anymore because your frequency is aligned with the Supreme Court of Heaven. Use the daily sound technology to anchor yourself in the frequency of Charash. Be the silent blacksmith. Let them see the results months from now, but never let them see the process. If you can master the three-circle protocol and maintain your silence, you will survive the arrival of the reward. But the enemy is incredibly observant. The demonic realm is watching your frequency. They see that you are using the activation tools. They see that your mind is clearing. They see that the escrow vault is literally inches away from opening. Because they cannot stop the vault from opening, they will launch a highly deceptive counterattack to make you walk away from the vault completely. This is called the premature celebration attack. Right before your massive generational reward manifests, the enemy will throw a counterfeit blessing directly into your path. It will look like an answered prayer. It will be a job offer that pays just enough to relieve your immediate stress, but requires you to completely abandon your divine purpose. It will be a relationship with someone who checks almost every single box on your list, but who carries a subtle, low-frequency spirit that drains your energy. The enemy is betting on your exhaustion. They know you have been waiting for years. They are offering you a comfortable, decent compromise to see if you will settle for good and voluntarily forfeit greatness. If you accept the counterfeit, if you celebrate prematurely, the escrow vault locks permanently. You must reject the good to protect the great. You must look at the counterfeit, recognize it as bait, and step over it in complete silence. You now know how to dodge the fake reward. You know how to maintain your frequency and keep your silence. But you must prepare yourself, because once you reject the counterfeit, the enemy will realize that bribery did not work on you, and they will unleash the final, most brutal psychological attack they possess. They save this specific weapon for the exact night before your escrow drops. It is a violent identity storm, a dark night of the soul that will hit you so hard it will make you want to cancel the entire process right before dawn breaks. This ultimate psychological weapon is the identity confusion attack. I need you to listen to this very carefully, because when this hits you, it will feel so heavy and so real that you will swear you have lost your divine connection. Right before your spiritual escrow is scheduled to release into your physical hands, you will wake up one morning and feel a sudden, crushing weight of absolute worthlessness. You will look in the mirror and you will not recognize the sovereign, powerful, chosen one looking back at you. Every single past mistake you have ever made, every sin, every failure, and every embarrassing moment from your history will violently flood your mind on a continuous loop. You will feel an intense, overwhelming urge to just give up. You will think to yourself, "Who am I kidding? I am not a chosen one. I am a fraud. I am broken. I am destined to struggle forever. I should just accept my miserable reality and stop hoping for this massive reward." When this happens, you must realize that this is not clinical depression. This is not you losing your mind. This is a highly calculated, strategic frequency attack. As your escrow vault prepares to open, your old beta frequency identity, the version of you that was addicted to trauma, poverty, and rejection, is violently dying. And the enemy is weaponizing the dying echoes of your old self to convince you that you are entirely disqualified. Look at the ultimate biblical pattern for this exact moment. Before Jesus of Nazareth performed a single miracle, before he stepped into his massive public ministry, and before the heavens opened to declare his purpose, he was led into the brutal wilderness for 40 days. He was starving, he was physically exhausted, he was completely isolated, and when he was at his absolute weakest point, the enemy appeared. But notice exactly how the enemy attacked him. The enemy did not attack his theology. The enemy did not attack his future plans. The enemy attacked his core identity. The enemy whispered, "If you are the Son of God, turn these stones into bread. If you are the Son of God, throw yourself down." Do you see the pattern? The word "if" is the ultimate weapon of identity confusion. The enemy knew that Jesus was about to change the entire cosmos, so the only possible way to stop him was to make him doubt who he actually was. The enemy tried to make Jesus prove his identity by stepping out of alignment and performing a cheap trick for immediate gratification. This is exactly what the demonic realm is doing to you right now. They are whispering, "If you are really a chosen one, why are you so broke? If God really approved your reward, why are you still so lonely? If you are so spiritually powerful, why do you feel so exhausted today?" They want you to panic, step out of the three-circle protocol, and accept a counterfeit reality just to prove your worth. You must recognize this storm for what it is. It is the final, desperate scream of an enemy that knows your vault is already unlocking. I need you to see exactly how this spiritual physics operates in real physical reality. I want to tell you about a specific chosen one who walked this exact path. We will call him the architect. The architect had a massive, life-changing financial settlement and a creative business contract completely locked up in legal disputes for 3 entire years. He had prayed, he had fasted, he had hired the best lawyers, but absolutely nothing moved. He was drowning in a beta-frequency panic, constantly checking his emails, constantly calling his attorney in tears, and constantly venting his frustration to anyone who would listen. His frequency was a chaotic mess of desperation. Then he understood the concept of the spiritual escrow. He realized his anxiety was the exact force field bouncing his reward away. He made a radical decision. He completely stopped begging God to release the money, and he started working exclusively on his own frequency. Every single morning, before his feet even touched the floor, he sat on the edge of his bed. He put in his earbuds. He played the 7-minute acoustic activation frequency. He did not say a word. He just let the sound technology sweep through his brain, forcibly dissolving the heavy, toxic beta static and locking his mind into the pure theta state. For the first time in 3 years, his brain fog lifted. He felt a strange, terrifying sense of total peace, even though his bank account was still empty. And right on schedule, the attacks came. The enemy threw a counterfeit opportunity at him, a terrible, low-paying job that would have required him to drop his legal case completely. He rejected it. Then, the identity confusion hit. He woke up feeling like a total failure. He wanted to scream at the universe. He wanted to go on social media and write a massive, angry post about how unfair the legal system was. But he remembered the 3-circle protocol. Instead of opening the social media app, he deleted it from his phone. He turned his phone on silent. He refused to call his pessimistic family members. He went into total, militant lockdown. He became the silent blacksmith. He stayed entirely in Circle 1, continuing his daily 7-minute frequency ritual, protecting his mind with absolute ferocity. On day 28 of his silence, while he was making a simple cup of coffee, his phone rang. It was not his lawyer calling to negotiate a compromise. It was the opposing counsel. They surrendered. The entire, massive, 6-figure settlement was released in full, with 0 further conditions. The escrow dropped. It did not drop because he fought harder. It dropped because he finally cleared the landing pad, synchronized his frequency to the heavenly broadcast, and shut his mouth long enough for the universe to execute the delivery. You are standing at this exact same threshold right now. Therefore, I am speaking a prophetic timeline over your life. We are officially entering a 40-day window of extreme manifestation. 40 is the biblical number of complete transformation, the length of the rain in Noah's flood, the length of Moses on the mountain, the length of Jesus in the wilderness. For the next 40 days, you must be entirely uncompromising. I want you to execute a mental action right now. In your mind, visualize a blank calendar with 40 empty squares. See yourself taking a heavy black marker and writing the word "sealed" across the entire calendar. For the next 40 days, your frequency is sealed. You will wake up, you will use your sound technology to shatter the matrix interference, you will anchor your brain in the God frequency, and you will remain strictly in Circle 1. You will starve the distractions. You will starve the need to explain yourself to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. Everything has now been exposed to the light. You have the exact map of the spiritual realm. You understand the escrow vault. You have the frequency tool to clear the interference. You have the defensive strategy to protect your harvest from the enemy. You have completely decoded the illusions of the matrix. But right now, in this exact second, knowing the strategy is no longer enough. You cannot just intellectually agree with this message and scroll to the next video. You have to legally bind this truth in the spiritual court. It is no longer time to learn. It is time to present yourself before the Supreme Court of Heaven to officially activate the decree of release. This is the final step. This is the ultimate action required to lock your frequency and authorize the release. I need you to completely clear your mind right now. Do not look around your room. Do not look at the screen. Direct your spiritual eyes entirely inward. Imagine yourself walking into a massive, brilliantly lit courtroom in the heavenly realm. You are standing directly before the throne. You are not here to beg. You are here to receive the decree. This is your official activation ceremony. Sovereign Creator, Commander of the heavenly armies, Supreme Judge of the universe, we approach your throne room today not as broken victims, but as fully recognized, fully approved heirs to your kingdom. We recognize that the atmosphere in this moment has completely shifted. The period of testing has concluded. The documents of breakthrough have been permanently signed in your court. The spiritual escrow has been fully funded and prepared for delivery. I bring before you this specific chosen one. You saw them in their darkest, most desperate hours. You saw them sitting in their parked car, staring blindly at the steering wheel, completely exhausted by a battle they felt they were losing. You saw them staring at the ceiling at 3 a.m, feeling the crushing, suffocating weight of delay pressing against their chest. You heard the silent tears they cried when they felt completely forgotten by you. You watched as they endured the mockery of the world. You watched the narcissists and the manipulators pass them by like fast-growing weeds, while they were forced to grow slowly in the dark like a mighty oak tree. They were betrayed, they were isolated, and they were pushed to the absolute edge of their sanity. But they did not break. They kept their integrity. They held on to the promise when they had absolutely zero physical evidence to support it. I thank you that their brutal endurance has officially qualified them for this generational weight of glory. Right now, by the supreme authority of heaven, I officially seal the revelation of the spiritual escrow deep into their consciousness. I seal the absolute truth that their reward is not lost, but has been safely guarded in the heavenly vault. I seal the stewardship decision tree into their daily walk, giving them the divine wisdom to manage the massive influx of resources that is about to hit their life. I seal the 3-circle protocol into their mind. From this moment forward, they will operate in the holy, strategic silence of the blacksmith. They will not seek the validation of the world. They will forge their weapon in the dark. I aggressively bind the spirit of premature celebration. I command every counterfeit opportunity, every low-frequency distraction, and every trap set by the enemy to be exposed and dismantled right now. I bind the identity confusion attack. When the whispers of worthlessness try to flood their mind before the dawn, those whispers will hit an impenetrable wall of fire. They will no longer identify with their past trauma. They are permanently divorced from the beta frequency of survival, panic, and poverty. As you explore this sound technology and begin your daily 7-minute ritual, I declare that the heavy, toxic static of the matrix is completely and permanently dissolved from your physical brain. I decree that the brain fog is lifting right now. I declare that your mind is deeply anchored in the pure, high-vibrating God frequency. As your vessel aligns with the heavenly broadcast, I command the spiritual escrow to open. I decree that over the next 40 days, the exact financial resources, the divine partnerships, the hidden opportunities, and the massive vindication that has your name on it will begin to violently pull into your physical reality. You will experience a magnetic attraction to the exact people who hold the keys to your next level. Your health is realigning, your vision is sharpening. The days of empty hands are over. The harvest is here. Heaven is looking directly at you right now. The Supreme Court is waiting for your final confirmation. You know the weight of the glory that is coming. You know the extreme responsibility of this generational blessing. I am asking you right now, as a sovereign soul before the Creator, will you steward this massive reward with absolute wisdom? Will you maintain the strategic silence? Will you protect your frequency at all costs? If your answer is yes, I want you to declare it in your spirit right now. Give the silent nod of absolute readiness. It is recorded. Your signature is on the document. The frequencies are matched. You are officially commissioned to receive the harvest. You are dismissed from the waiting room. Step into your activated state. Walk in power. Maintain the silence.